Hello, welcome to Access. I'm Nathan. I'm here with Dave.
Hello.
Dave, today, this is Unravel.
Yeah.
And we've been playing it, both of us, this morning. And this is 5 things you need to know about Unravel that we know now because we've played it.
Yeah.
I'm going to start super basic, man. You play as Yanni.
Wow.
Which you know because you've played it. But here he is. And Yanni was the sensation of E3 last year.
Yes,
Everyone
he
was very charmed by him.
Yeah.
And what I wanted to get was across is the basic fact, and it's kind of awful when you first encounter it, is that you're made of yarn and you're tied to various places. You're tied to wherever you've come from. So gradually, as the name of the game suggests, you do actually unravel. Look, you can see it coming off you.
Yeah. He's a finite being, isn't he? He has an end. He's only a length of wool.
It made me so anxious, just playing it. And look, this bit in the game, I actually turned back and picked up on my yarn again. Look how horrible, he's all skeletal.
Yeah, do you know, I didn't notice that really.
It's kind of terrifying.
Oh, and you can sort of turn around and pick it back up, can't you?
You can, yeah, and sometimes you have to for puzzles. But look, this is you being renewed. So that's the basic fact of the game, right? Number 1, you're Yanni, you run out, but you can also be renewed.
Yeah.
Fact 2, tying into that, I mean, the reason that's important, it's an unusual thing for a hero character, but also you're playing memories.
Yeah.
That's the fact of the game. You sort of belong to this lady. This is right at the start, and she's kind of reflecting on photographs and things. And then you kind of emerge from underneath this table like a monster. And you play through these incredibly nostalgic scenes. We play through the first 2 levels for this video. And one of them takes place kind of in the back garden, maybe, kind of trees and leaves, and the other one's on the beach. But here you come, look, you emerge on the sight of this lady kind of reminiscing about the past. Yeah. And then, but this is the bit that actually kind of proves that you're actually playing memories. What's going on here, Dave?
Yeah, this is like sort of a photo album. Obviously the photos aren't clear, but when you complete a level, you find the photos through the level, and these memories like
these things happen as well through the level. Tiny kind of spectral, that's a bit too sinister. Spectral children.
I thought of them a bit like pollen. It looks a bit like pollen. Is forming the images, and then obviously these are going into the photos when you complete the level. He kind of
collects them. Yeah, it's like Yanni's on this kind of. Again, this is what I liked about the idea of renewal. And the director, I can't remember his name now, but when he spoke at E3, he was talking about the idea that Yanni is always tied to where he's come from. Literally. That's the whole point of the character. Yeah. And this is him, and he is finite, and we're all finite, but the important thing is to remember things like this, which is why you're restoring and kind of celebrating these memories as you go. We're on to number 3 now, which is that Yanni is surprisingly acrobatic.
He is indeed.
He's a nimble little fellow.
Yes.
So that's him just swinging around in his yarn. As this is just some footage of him doing some kind of acrobatic things. You can tie your yarn onto fixed points in the level, and that means what's he about to do here, Dave?
He makes a yarn bridge that you can use like a spring.
Yes,
you can also use it to transport objects over gaps.
Yeah, that helps for the puzzling. We're kind of going to go on to that. But all these kind of acrobatic, I want to get across the point that as a platformer, it does actually feel quite nimble.
Yeah.
In a way I wasn't really expecting. And his range of abilities, where he can kind of, he's almost, he's basically got what's it called? Like in Just Cause.
Grappling hook.
Yeah, he's basically got a grapple, and he can use it to climb stuff, and he can swing.
It feels really sort of natural to his character. I mean, he's got yarn, so he can, he can swing from it. He can abseil. He can climb up it. He can use it, like you say, like a grapple, a lasso. It's called in this game.
Traversing like a map with your own guts.
Yeah, a little bit like that, but again, less sinister.
Yeah. They've taken the sinister edge off, haven't they? But yeah, there was a lot more. Actually, most of the I guess traversal is a good name for it. The traversal is quite tricky, and it relies on your skills. And that brings us on to this point number 4, as I was going to say before, which is the puzzling. I kind of skipped this bit, Dave, as you might be able to tell. You were supposed to get more apples than this, but the puzzles are actually quite difficult. Which is why I cheated. Yes. On that one, I didn't get enough apples. This one had me stumped for ages. I was wondering whether I needed more yarn, and I needed to go back and kind of redo some of the the fixed points. It's a bit like using pitons. When you're abseiling, I fix myself to too many different points. But actually,
that's nice, isn't it? It's just a physics puzzle.
Yeah, I've not quite seen it.
Oh, I've seen it now. Hang on. Yeah, that's right.
It was so satisfying, that one. And this was my favourite puzzle of all the ones that we did. I haven't gone into too many specifics. Obviously, I want people. There's a fixed number of these, and I want people to find them for themselves. But I love the water mechanic when you're on the beach anyway. And look
at the sea in the back.
Like it raises
really
it up,
nice.
and then that's flipped a thing down, and then it kind of got more and more complicated. And what I like is, that's why I put the acrobatic stuff first, is it uses loads of his acrobatic skills, and then you have to kind of combine them together with your brain, and then you kind of figure out what to do. So you actually have to carry that thing onto the next part of the map. So this is me gradually figuring that out, and then figuring out the stuff that I need to put in place in order to get it there.
I found the control scheme was very smart as well. Like I wasn't having to think what button is it to do the lasso and then tie. Like it all made sense very quickly.
And you can lower yourself too. Okay, this is the final part now, Dave, and this is just that sometimes the game, and it's really aiming for, because it's fairly simple gameplay-wise, apart from the puzzles. What it's aiming for is like a really particular kind of style, and it's really beautiful, and that's basically what I wanted to get across. Is there are some moments, this is another one of those kind of ghostly memories, but there are some times when the music's very calm and chilled out. I'm determined to make this seem sinister. And where it really just comes together, and I love, basically having played 2 of the this bit was magical. Having played 2 of the levels, this is what's keeping me going for the next ones. Not necessarily the puzzles. I want to see what other places it puts me in, and they do kind of make me remember like times I spent with my family and my kids in particular. I do take them to the woods and to the beach, and I kind of want to see what else it makes, because there is a bit of, it has sprinkled a bit of magical dust.
For me, it's that whole changing perspective of something that you might recognise, like the garden level. It's just your everyday sort of garden, a little bit messy, but the kind of, as soon as you become smaller and it changes the perspective.
And it's
on things.
more like a childlike perspective as well.
Exactly, yeah,
for sure. And obviously it's kind of Scandinavian and beautiful too, but I just wanted to I didn't want to say, oh, the game looks nice, but I think it pulls off a really specific kind of atmosphere.
Yeah.
And it does it really, really well.
It's not so much the graphics as the art direction, isn't it? It's the choices they've made about it. It's
how the game
really
feels.
beautiful.
Yeah, so that's Unravel. That's 5 things that we've noticed about Unravel from our first kind of preview impressions of it. Hope you enjoyed that. Do subscribe to the channel. We've got loads more coming up.